You know, Kenny, I gotta be honest with you. I hate feeling like this. Something happened in January. I don't know what it is. Something happened in January with YouTube and the algorithms. And I talked to some of my YouTube pals, and they're frustrated also. They're frustrated because YouTube, for some reason, is not prioritizing putting our videos in the algorithms. How dare YouTube? What the fuck's your problem, YouTube? Don't you know we paid several... Wait, we don't pay YouTube any money, do we?
No, we don't.
It's free to upload videos, right?
Free to upload videos.
Wow, yeah, it's a good deal, isn't it? It's free to upload, free to entertain, and free to share whatever you want to. Unlimited ability to upload, by the way.
Right.
Huh. It's almost like, what kind of person would you have to be to complain about YouTube and their algorithms? I don't know.
Right.
Well, Gerard, the completionist, complains about YouTube and their algorithms. Bad, but he's not happy. He's frustrated. And hey, a lot of that could be genuine.
Right.
But if there's anything that I want people to learn when they come to my channel, Kenny, is don't always take things and YouTubers at face value. Don't always do that. But sometimes it actually could be truthful. Maybe he actually is frustrated. Maybe this is not a ploy to get people to go to visit his channel. Maybe it's not a ploy for people to feel bad for him and maybe throw him a couple more dollars on Twitch or Patreon. He even has this point where he tells people, and I don't know if he's being honest here, like I said, because you don't know,
Right.
Hey, I don't want you to give me more money on Patreon. I just want you to invest in me and watch my videos. And he has this weird kind of maniacal kind of smile and laugh after that.
Right.
I don't know what was up with that. I would say one thing. I would say to people new to the channel, I don't much care for Patreon. I don't like PayPal. I fundamentally think it's fucking stupid to give money to a YouTuber, specifically a YouTuber that plays video games and completes video games. Bless his heart. I mean, he does great at completing those games. He does.
Right.
And I've seen a couple of his uploads. They're not that bad at all. We have some things in common. One of my favorite games is Final Fantasy VII. So sometimes there's actually things that, common points of interest and agreements I have with some of these YouTubers. But the big disagreement I have with is, of course, things like Patreon, and there's a certain points in this video where he contradicts himself. And he says the worst part is the money. And, YouTubers should not focus on the money. But then he talks about how he only makes, he did the math. Gerard did the math. He spends about 300 hours playing a video game a week to complete it.
Right.
And he makes only 3.5 cents for every hour. Now, I need to see Gerard's calculator. I don't know how he came up with that. How many hours did he have to get a piece of paper and go down with that, or did he just pull that figure right out of his asshole? I'm not sure.
He made an algorithm on it.
He made his own algorithm on it,
And figured it out,
I just don't. That was a sticking point to me. 3.5 cents. Now, some people, I'm not saying this is the case, maybe some people might do that or say that to make people feel a little sorry for them. Well, they're only making a couple pennies for an hour of playing a game. It's hard work, though, completing those games.
Well,
you got to pick up the controller,
turn on
the
console.
You do. Oh, yeah, and there's editing and there's all kind of stuff. So I'm not going to take anything away from that. Sometimes people don't like that I have a condescending nature to gaming YouTubers. I definitely do for Twitch. For people on Twitch that, shake their cans or whatever, guys or girls. I don't know if Gerard shakes his cans on Twitch. He calls it diversifying. There's one thing I agree with Kenny. There's one thing I agree with Gerard on. There's other things. How YouTube is kind of like high school. Some people will hate his guts. Some people will, fight for him and everything. Some people will stab you in the back. He get into that. I agree with that. And I do agree. Oh, I had it, but I lost it. It might come back.
Yeah.
Okay, but on Twitch, he talks about how, it's unsustainable. It's an unsustainable model YouTube right now, especially with all the changes. I agree with that, right?
Right.
I do agree. I do agree with him how it's an unsustainable model right now, especially, with the algorithm changes. But I don't agree with him how creators need to diversify with Twitch and Patreon.
Right.
No, you don't. You don't. Guess what, Kenny? I might be a victim of the algorithms too. Maybe some of my uploads didn't get as many views this year as they did in 2019.
Right.
Do you see me running to Twitch? Do you see me running to Patreon?
Nope.
No.
Or the PayPals or...
No, because unlike Gerard, I just think it's fundamentally wrong to accept anything from your audience unless you're actually providing something tangible to them. He talked about the merch, how he makes his merch in-house. Hey, some of the merch puts beards on things. I get it. Is that the merch? I'm not sure.
Merch. And I think he said something in his video about the merch that he can't depend on that either, if I'm not mistaken. It was somewhere around the 8-minute mark, 8:30, something like that.
Well, I have no problem if you're making merch or Blu-rays or whatever. If you're providing someone a tangible freaking product. He talks about how he wanted to get into other things, directing. He wanted to maybe get into movies. It might be time for him to actually do something like that.
Right.
Or maybe get a part-time job if he isn't making ends meet. Okay, I get it. Gerard, you're stressed out. A lot of people are stressed out with YouTube right now. And there's the apocalypse, there's this, there's that. But like I always say, no one told you had to make YouTube a career.
Right.
No one told you to go down that rocky path.
Like you said, it's going to be ups and downs.
Ups and downs, and you got to plan for that. It points in it seemed like he was going to have a nervous breakdown. He seemed like really stressed out. My advice would be for him to take some time off, maybe. Not as much as Alpha Mega Sin, who takes a couple years off sometimes on YouTube. But legitimately, there's things I agree with and disagree with. And people come to me sometimes, Kenny, and they say, what do you think about this?
Right.
Is this YouTuber BSing? Are they being legitimate? I think at certain points here, Gerard is being very real and legitimate. But I think at other points, like his math on making 3.5 cents for an hour on playing a game, which, I mean, some people might say, well, damn, I play a video game for an hour and I don't make jack shit.
Right.
So that might be pretty kind of high. He says one of the joys of it is the audience. One of the joys is actually when people meet him out and they say, hey, you changed my life. You changed my life and everything. I get that. A warm, fuzzy feeling, right?
That he was their inspiration.
Inspirational. Okay, my suggestion would be to Gerard to maybe be inspirational and maybe get rid of his Patreon. Lead the way. Be an inspiration for other YouTubers to maybe drop their Patreon, quit taking money from their audience, and tell them, hey, you know what? I'm just doing YouTube for fun. It's my hobby. I love you guys. Go out and buy some games. I'm not even looking at the Patreon tiers. I'm not.
Right.
Okay, I'm trying to go easy on Gerard today.
Right.
I'm trying to go easy on Gerard. Because with this upload, sometimes I'll see an upload by somebody and I'm like, okay, there's some bullshit here, but there's some actual sincereness right there. Right? Okay, add some thoughts to this, Kenny. We might have to wrap this up. We might revisit this in the future, I'm not sure. But I want you to wrap this up in a nice, pretty bow. Well, what are your thoughts? What do you got to tell Gerard?
Well, I watched some of the videos, and, it looks like he legitimately likes to play the gameplay, and, he's got some good content.
I think some of the videos are pretty good for gaming videos.
I watched a few. I didn't get a chance, watch a whole lot of them considering what's going on today, But,
well, you need to complete them. Complete them!
I did not complete them, but I should complete it. But
because he puts a lot, he's got a staff. He's got 20 people.
That's a lot of people.
He plays it for 300 hours a week.
I mean, you have a big staff. You got me.
Yeah, you and the friends in my head. Yeah.
But yeah.
Sometimes Metal Jesus stops by to help out.
And quite frequently.
Yeah. And I'm helping John on his game museum,
Right.
I am. Oh, I got to keep that under lids. I'm not supposed to tell anybody about that.
Right.
Oh, also, if Gerard stops by, hey, Gerard, what you think about John Hancock and his game museum that he's building? In general, I don't know if Gerard will come. Gerard's really busy playing those games. I don't know if he would stop by.
You think that after he completes the games, he'll go in the museum? Maybe, I don't know.
Gerard will go in the museum?
The games will go in the museum. Well, he can go in the museum too to complete the games.
No, I don't know if he. I don't know if he would want to donate any of the games he completes to the museum.
Right.
But yeah, maybe he could. Maybe he could get a job. Oh, I've solved the problem.
Get a job completing the games in the museum.
Oh,
Right.
like in real time?
Yeah.
Like he would have like an exhibit. Like you go in there and you see Gerard just
Right there
completing the
playing.
games.
I'm just completing this game.
No, I mean that would be a. He needs to have some YouTubers in that museum.
Yeah. Definitely.
Nah, that's silly, Kenny. That's silly. He would never have him in the museum because he would not want Gerard to take any focus away from his very rare copies of wonderful games that were humbly donated to him. Oh, what else did you say you were probably going to complete?
I'm going to go through all his Patreon tiers and complete all the Patreon tiers.
Oh shit! Really?
All of them.
Damn! Wow! He's gonna love hearing that. Okay, I think if you do that, that'll raise his gameplay hours from 3.5 cents to 4 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Couple things I want to add on to this. Kenny's no longer here. I'm recording this after our sit down. I went back to the video and I re-watched it, and at the 2-minute 30-second mark, I wanted to bring this up with Kenny, but Gerard talks about how he's frustrated and he contacted YouTube several times to try to find out what's going on with his channel. I just find that kind of funny. I mean, one thing is most YouTubers. Gerard, you're talking to a lot of other people on your channel, other people that have their channels. The vast majority of YouTubers, 99.9% of YouTubers on this platform, you try to talk to YouTube, there's no response. Like they never respond. You don't get any response. I think you have to be at a certain level of subscribers before they even look in your direction and even talk to you. So this comes from an air of entitlement right here. Okay, so let's just focus on that for a second. You're trying to contact YouTube about your YouTube channel. I get it, I understand it, but you're trying to contact YouTube and be like, what's the deal? What's up with my growth? Damn you motherfuckers and your algorithms. Like I said, that's entitled and I think it's kind of funny. But here's what's not funny, alright? I'm going to call into question, Gerard, this entire upload. Because I went over to Social Blade and I'm expecting a huge drop for a video of this title. And again, you titled this, I Hate Feeling Like This, and you're frustrated. You talk about you're frustrated with YouTube and your channel. Okay, I'm expecting a momentous drop, or at least a flat line. But look at these numbers right here. Look at the numbers, look at the lines. Total subscribers, total video views. Those lines are going up. Those red lines are not going down. They're not stagnant. They're going up. And he talked about something that happened at the beginning of the year, in January. Well, guess what? I looked at Tuesday, December 24th to January the 1st, and he actually had a noticeable bump from 1.23 million to 1.24 million in the span of a week there. And then there wasn't a drop from the 1st to the 9th. Actually, from the 9th to the 17th, he had a big bump to 1.25 million. And then, guess what? The 25th, not even out of January, 1.26. Then it's a little stagnant, 1.26. Then what happens on February 18th? 1.27. So it's stuck at 1.27 through, looks like the middle of March. Okay. So Gerard, do you really think of all the people that are contacting YouTube with their problems, Mr. 1.27 million right now, do you think they should fucking talk to you?